Hi, Wilna here, and this is the third video of 4 videos that I'm making using washes on art journals. So this is something that I've always wanted to do, and doing a little mini series on YouTube just with washes was like the ideal opportunity for me to experiment a little bit. So basically what I'm using is I'm using watercolors. I love the Kuretake watercolors. You can see the palette there on the left side of the book. I'm just going to go through a little bit of my process here. I did prime my pages with gesso, and that is why the watercolors is sitting on top of the page. You can see it's like it doesn't want to be sucked into the paper, and that's because of the gesso barrier. And it's just a different look and something that I actually quite like a lot. So I'm splattering with a little bit of green, painting with turquoise and blue, and I love the blue-green colors. It's probably my favorite to work with, and I think if I go through all my books, and I should do a page through of my books at some point on YouTube, I think that's the main colors is the greens and blues with splashes of pink and purple. Okay, maybe I'm not quite honest here. So now I'm using this lovely stencil by Craft. And I'm just spreading some molding paste through it. I love the leaves. This is a stencil that I've used so many times. I mean, you can look at it and see just how much it's been used. I love Craft's stencils, and I have a bunch of them, but I also like Tim Holtz. So between the two of them, I have probably not most, but a lot of the stencils. Okay, so light molding paste is perfect. It dries quickly. Within 10 minutes, this will be dry. And I'm just going to repeat what I did say on video 2 of the washes. And that is that I love the way that paint drops dry, watercolor dry on gesso. So you can see here how beautiful the paint drop effect is, and I absolutely love it. Also, the molding paste is like blending into the page, but just watch what happens when you add a darker color to it. So now I'm going to start the next phase of the washes, and this is acrylic inks. So acrylic inks works differently with gesso background. It's more opaque, but what I love about it is if you mix enough water in it, you can still see what happens on the layer beneath it. So the big thing, right, is to know when to stop. I think maybe that is the number one issue when you art journal, when you paint, when you do any kind of art, is to know when to stop. That's the hardest thing for me. Even after cultivating a creative life for 30 years, I still find it hard to know when to stop. But I think it's an intuitive process, and I think as you develop as an artist and as you work, consistently, you develop an intuitive feeling for yourself when to stop. So I'm just adding a little bit of that beautiful lime green ink there. I love using these inks just straight out of the bottle. The colors are perfect for me. It works beautiful for my with my taste for colors. So it's just like this ideal bunch of colors. So this is cerulean blue, which apparently I'm not going to use. I'm always looking for colors. So this is like ultramarine blue, beautiful blue, dark blue. And so, okay, when you paint with a dark blue on your pages, you can see now how the molding paste is going to light up. There you can see all of a sudden the shape and the texture is just being highlighted. And isn't that amazing? And again, even with the darker color, it allows you to see what's happening on the layer beneath it. So this is like this layering of color that you just layer over and over again. And I can't get enough of it, and I cannot tell you how much I love it. So the one thing about art journaling is that it's exercises in creativity. And what I've found is the more I art journal, the more it shows up in my paintings, it shows up when I scrapbook, it shows up in my other creative endeavors. And the more I paint, the more it shows up in my art journals. So it's this lovely like cycle that just is serendipitous. Everything helps everything. And I absolutely cannot tell you the value of the process. I really hope that if you watch my videos a lot, like if you're a fan of this channel, that eventually, and you haven't done it, that you would just dive in and do it. No one can describe to you the joy of actually doing it. Like, and this is something again that I've discovered in teaching real life art journal classes. The students are very apprehensive in the beginning of the class. They're a little skeptical. They are wondering, what is, am I artistic enough to do this? But because my approach to art journaling is processes and very duplicatable processes, it makes the creative process so much more enjoyable, I think. And the feedback that I get was always the surprised exclamation about the outcome. They're always so surprised at how much they enjoyed the process and how lovely the outcome is. So if I can just take that little bit from my actual classes, what I've taught in real life, and just translate it into YouTube video, that's what I would tell you. This is what the students say. So if you like to watch my videos, but you haven't actually done anything, I really want to encourage you, like, just jump in and get some paints and just start painting and creating with me. It will surprise you how much you enjoy it. And again, right, the whole thing about art journaling to me is about the journey, and it's about enjoying the process. It's a very mindful thing. Very mindful. So you're in the moment, you're enjoying the process, you're enjoying the moment. It's like you leave everything else in the world outside of the table, and you just enjoy what you do. So now I'm creating some space on my art journal for my journaling. This is a very important part for me. You can see where I create the space is usually also free from texture. So be mindful that you don't put the texture of the stencil everywhere. You want to like contain it to the outer edges, maybe the top, the bottom, the sides, so that you have room to write. It's hard to write on texture. So now I'm digging into my inner graffiti artist, and this is maybe one thing that I will expand is my palette of spray paints. And also my palette of textured stencils, right? So I'm just spraying with black and white. That's what I'm using right now. And I've loved this. I love how the spray paint shows up. I love the contrast of this graffiti look with this very romantic painterly backgrounds. I just love the contrast of it. So again, it's a way to create texture and interest on a page. So a little tip is, again, if your stencil is not like flat on your page and you spray through it, it will look a little blurry. So sometimes it's exactly what you want. Like that. You can't really see the words. You can more just see markings, which is fine. And then also I use these over and over and over again, right? So I honestly have a little hook next to my workspace where I just literally hang them up so they can dry, and I just work with them again and again. Now, the previous page I used black splatters for accent, and in this one I'm using red. I had an art professor, and he always said a painting is not done until you add a little bit of red focal point to it, and I tend to agree with that. Maybe it was just seared into my conscience. Make sure that your bottles are screwed up well when you put them down, because they do fall over, like you can see there, and I've had multiple paint accidents. And the funny thing is, I have a white carpet in my scrapbook room. I don't know why, I just do. But I have a carpet cleaner as well, so now and then I would just run the carpet cleaner over it. And the only big accident I've ever had was white paint falling on the white carpet. So this page is almost done. The washes can get a little muddy, so just be careful. I think a little tip there for you is maybe let the layers dry completely before you wash over it again. But other than that, you know what, I love the look of it. And after this video, I still have one more page to show you, basically doing the same thing, just with a different outcome. And that's okay. This is the one thing where that saying is not applicable, is you can do the same thing over and over again and have a different outcome. I love it. So in the next slide, I'll show you just the finished page with my journaling on it. And then lastly, I'll show you a little preview of my workshop where I teach more of these, not the specific techniques, more in depth. So check it out. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.